Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us.
Good morning, beloveds. It's so wonderful to be here. I just want to take a moment and just glance upon your glorious countenances, knowing that I am absolutely looking into the face of the divine. And John, thank you. Thank you for calling in the angels, the ancestors. I feel them here greatly. And thank you for the reminder that it's as simple as that. Call in the angels. There are 32 of them with us, each one of us, all the time, front, back, side, side. So it's just as simple as that. Call in the angels. They're hanging around waiting for us to ask. And they stay with us the entire time that we are here on this planet, and they stay with us probably as we transcend to the next realm. I'm not clear about that yet, but that's what I would like to believe. So good morning, happy May, yay! I forgot we were in a new month, but yes, here we are in the month of May. And of course, cruising into curiosity, I love that. Because it also, that theme brings up the little girl in me, brings up the inquisitive person in me, it brings up the person in me who's like, what could it possibly be about? However, the title that showed up for me as I was being with the monthly theme is Sacred Sailing and Stupefying Squalls. Yeah, sacred sailing and stupefying squalls. And I believe Spirit's idea about this is that's a description of life as we may know it. However, before we get going, let's have a little giggle. You know, there is, for me, sometimes I get the person that I have been up until now, I'll say, gets very entrenched in my learning and my enlightenment and my spiritual practices and my reading and my meditations and blah, 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 my journaling and all that. And sometimes I forget that, oh, and yes, there's silliness here. There's giddiness here, that there is no duality in spirit. So it's not like silliness and giddiness, we can take them, compartmentalize them and sit them over here. It's all mixed up together. It's all this wonderful recipe of the divine in and as each one of us. So let's start with a little giggle. So there was a family at their religious center, we'll call it a church, and they were, after the service, the collection plate was coming around, and I realized that's kind of an antiquated thing for us now. However, the collection plate was coming around, and there was a little boy, and he was tapping his father as the plate's going around. Finally, his father looks at him and says, "What is it? What is the reason you keep tapping me?" And the little boy says, "Oh, Daddy, I'm 5 years old, so you only have to pay half for me. Don't pay full admission for me." So it goes to show, you know, we all can have different perspectives also of what is circulation about, which that's not what I'm here to talk about today, even though it's my heart, circulation is. However, so onward and upward. So I was being with, what are some cruising tools? Now, I'm not much of a water person. However, I do like to go on a cruise, not the big, giant, humongous kind. I'm not great on that kind because I just want to walk around and run around and do other things. However, any sort of cruise. And so I was being with that, just letting it, be inside of me and kind of rumble around. And what showed up was there are some cruising tools that we can use in our life. And these are also tools that sailors use, people who sail or cruise or even maybe on a yacht, probably. And so the first one is a magnetic compass. I didn't know this because I researched it, that in times past, and even now, that's how sailors got around the world, got around the planet, using a magnetic compass. And those of you who are more scientific than me understand exactly how the magnetic compass works. However, it has to do with the magnetism of the universe, I believe. That's my belief. Okay. The second way is flotation devices. And this flotation devices, when that word showed up, it reminded me of my former career. All right, come on, there we go. It reminded me of my former career where I was always putting on a flotation device and showing, and blow in the tube and pull on the cord, and we hope it works. We hope that if we land in the water, we hope they all work. However, Yes, and that's it, John. Really, and I must say, in case you want to ask me, no, I haven't. I didn't ever use a flotation device in the 4 decades that I was demonstrating them. However, flotation devices are useful. They're valuable, and like John said, and hope that we don't have to use it. Just that we open it up, take a look, fold it back up, put it back in the pouch. So that's the second thing, that a tool that we can use while cruising. And the third tool that we can use while cruising is what suits you. What suits me? What is my selection? What is my volition? What suits me? What's it about for me? What suits me? And being of our own volition is an exercise of willing and resolving. Willing it to happen, resolving it's happening. Okay, so we'll go a little bit deeper inside there. However, this whole sacred sailing and stupefying squalls, like I said, it was real clear to me that Spirit was saying, oh, ho, 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 this is about life. And Spirit was saying to me, and this is about your life, Verona. It's about your life. It's about the lives of all of us spiritual beings having a human experience. So I wanted to dig a little deeper into that. How about down here? Okay, all right. I wanted to dig a little deeper into that. And so I realized that we get to choose. We have a choice. We have a choice to have dominion and or ascendancy. It's our choice. Dominion here and now, ascendancy as we move into the realms of life, the further realms of life. And so let's get into the definition of these words, because when the words kept flowing through me, I was saying, okay, Spirit, could you explain that? So I'd like to explain it. So dominion, what is dominion? Dominion is the power of right governing, management, regency, or sovereignty. I love those last two, regency, because we are the regal expression of the divine. Each one of us, no matter how mundane I might think I am, that is not true. I am that I am. I am an expression of the Most High. And if I am an expression, each one of us is an expression. We are all unique we are all unique, bespoke godlets. Custom-made expressions of the divine. Yeah, I love that word, godlets. And we are, each one of us. Each one of us, like the drops of rain, each one of us is like the drops of the divine rain itself. Each one of us is that I am, that I am. Because each one of us is absolutely adored, cherished, and loved by the thing itself, by Spirit itself. And so, as we are adored, loved, and cherished, how could we be anything but an expression of the Most High? I mean, it's impossible to be anything. We are an expression of itself, so that in the knowing of that, we are. We are full to overflowing with all that Spirit is. And I know that might, and sometimes in my life, that has felt either unreal or challenging to accept. And so the information here, or the invitation actually here is, if that feels challenging to accept, allow yourself to look at the resistance to it. Just allow yourself to know, if there's some resistance here, I'm going to love up the resistance. I pour all my love, all of my energy, all of the vapors of the divine that I am into the resistance. And as we love up the resistance to it, gives us an opportunity to ask the resistance, what is it you're here to teach me? What is wanting to emerge from this resistance? And the resistance, if I allow myself, you allow yourself, we allow ourselves to be still, because there's nothing more valuable than being in the stillness. It's the epitome. If we allow ourselves to be in the stillness and ask, resistance, what is it you're here to show me or to teach me? It answers. I know it does. I've done it a gazillion times. So if there's some resistance to knowing your divinity or accepting your divinity or owning it or embracing it, or some resistance to being, and you all know me so well, to being like, yes, I am that I am. Yeah. If there's some resistance to doing that in your own way, then just allow yourself to know that the resistance is here to help. The resistance is here to aid. The resistance is here to, shine a light into maybe the crevice of the enlightenment or the expansion that is wanting to come through. So I didn't mean to get on that tangent. However, it must have wanted to be said. So the definitions for dominion, and then the definition for ascendancy is preeminence, prevailing, supreme, and surpassing. Once again, it's all the same. Supreme. How many times have you said to yourself in the mirror, I am a supreme being? No? Okay, well, it can start today. It can start today. It can start today, to really realize and know that I am the supremacy of the divine. And that does not mean that I am better than anyone else or that I get to be in a place of judgment about others. All it means is I know that I am the supreme. I am the ascendancy of the divine. I take dominion over my life. I'm the one. Years ago, when I first came into New Thought Ageless Wisdom, one of the challenging statements for me to accept was when someone said it, your life is the way it is because you chose it. Yeah, it was a hard one for me. What? My life, this stuff, and I'm just going to use what I said, this crap that's going on, I chose it? Yes, because we are at choice. We can take dominion over our lives. We can be the ascendancy in our lives. We can be the divine. And everything that is showing up in my life, I chose it. Now, I'd like you to take this opportunity to not say to yourself, oh, I did this? To not judge yourself, to not think that, ooh, what is up with me that I chose this? Because everything that we choose is a lesson. Everything we choose is an opportunity for growth. Everything we choose is something that's moving us on to the next level, the next heights of the livingness of the divine within and through us. Yeah, and I'll use an example from my life. You probably all know that I've had 3 times to enter the activity of matrimony and 3 times to get divorced. And so I in the past, could have said, what is up with you, Verona? I could have, or in the past, could have gone along with some of the thinking of my family of origin. Wow, this girl's a failure. This girl's not, she's, and that is something that had been incorporated into me. However, I get to know, and got to know even then, and still get to know, is that each one of those activities, each one of those experiences moved me on to a different place. It moved me on to the person who's standing here in front of you today. Moved me on in so many ways. I am so grateful. I am so thankful. And especially I'm thankful for the pain. I am so grateful for the pain. Because as Reverend Michael says, the pain pushes and the vision pulls. However, in my life, the pain has made me open up and take a look. What choice am I making? What choices am I making? And do those choices have anything to do with, or are they in alignment with what I really want? So I say that to say, yes, the way my life is, your life is, everybody's life is, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, it's a blessing, it's a blessing. It may feel like a blessing that for me sometimes is wrapped in the coarsest grade of sandpaper. You know, you can go to the hardware store and get the different grades of sandpaper. I like to do DIY things. It's the coarsest grade of sandpaper possibly sometime, and it's still a blessing. It's still Spirit saying, here you are, my beloved. Here you are, my darling. Here you are, my precious one. So if we allow ourselves to take dominion and ascendancy in these squalls, and because I looked up squalls too, and squalls, I've been in a squall on a sailboat. Squalls, and it's not very comfortable. Squalls can be sudden disturbance, and it can be a violent gust of wind. And in my life, I don't know about your life, but there's been times in my life when I felt like that. Like there's this sudden gust of wind, and I want to say, what the heck? Or even if it's a squall, even if it's like a miniature squall, John and I shared today together, there's such synchronicity in life that we both left home, and 15 to 20 minutes after we left home, we didn't have important equipment for our being here. He did not have his sound machine. I did not have my iPad. And, that's like, as I'm driving along, I'm thinking, oh, Spirit, stop it. I know I'm speaking about squalls today, but I didn't want to be part of a little squall this morning. Really, absolutely. And, of course, it gave me an opportunity to say, all is well. I forgive myself for being upset with myself for leaving my iPad at home. And it also gave me an opportunity to say, and wherever I go today, I get there in time and on time, because there is no time in Spirit. So just something like that, even if it's not a huge squall, even if it's not like your house burns down. However, just a small one like that. So we are in the process here and now. We all signed up before we got here to be in a place of navigating these sacred sailings and stupefying squalls. And we have several tools in which we can use. So in honor of Asian American Pacific Islander Month, I'd like to tell you a story. AAPI Month, I'd like to tell you a story. And it is about Victoria Manalo Graves. Victoria Manalo Graves was a Filipino competitive diver. She won 2 gold medals at the 1948 Olympic Games in London. One was for platform diving and one was for springboard diving. Now, the thing about her was she was the first American woman who won any medals in that particular Olympics. The other thing was she was the first Asian American swimmer or diver who had won any of these gold medals. And she is from the city of San Francisco, was from the city of San Francisco. And in her growing up years and learning about diving, she faced severe discrimination. She faced discrimination in a way that we probably know about, or I know about. After she would use the pool, she swam at the Red Cross pool. Sometimes after she would use the pool, they would drain the pool because she had been in the pool. Yeah, that she had been diving in the pool. Now, it sounds a little, however, in the childhood I was in, I experienced that too, that after someone of a person of color was in the pool got drained, and it got cleaned, and they put more water in, so it would be quote-unquote pure. However, she lived with this, okay? She anglicized her name to Vicki Taylor so that she would be accepted. Okay, so people didn't know until she showed up that she was a Filipino-American. And then there was a lot of discrimination for her in San Francisco. This is San Francisco happening. And so in 1946, after the war was over, she moved to L.A. And she moved to L.A., and her coach moved to L.A., and they ended up getting married to each other. However, she moved to L.A., and then in L.A. they opened up a school. And she also did a lot of diving, swimming, competitions, and shows. She was on tour with Esther Williams, the famous swimmer, which is dating me, but she was, and I mean that's really impressive to me. And she also, she and her husband started a school for other divers, and now today there's a park in San Francisco. It's 2 acres, 1 acre for each one of her gold medals. It's at Folsom and Sherman. It's 4 blocks from the place where she was born, and is named after her, the Victoria Manalo Graves Park. So when I was reading about her, and especially since it's AAPI month, when I was reading about her, I realized, oh, wow, she was navigating sacred sailing and stupefying squalls. And she really did make some decisions about the ways this was going to be done, and it's the exact same ways that we can make decisions. So, the practical part of this, choosing and experiencing what is chosen, allowing ourselves to take dominion and choose. So the first way is with praise and thanksgiving. And I'm pretty sure this wonderful lady, I'm just going to call her Ms. Graves, but Manalo is her Filipino name. Praise and thanksgiving. And praise and thanksgiving in this cruising into curiosity, I equate it with the magnetic compass. Because once we give praise and thanksgiving, things all turn around. Things happen. Once I say, whew, I'm so glad I left my iPad at home, and I'm so glad I can turn around and get back on, go through the tunnel again and rush upstairs and pick it up and get in my car and, whoop, as John and I said, zip back around and come back. Praise and thanksgiving. It turned the whole thing around. And it could become for me, just like it became for her, probably her whole life, a magnetic compass showing the way. And in this magnetic compass of praise and thanksgiving, a psalm came to me. I will praise God in song and glorify him with thanksgiving. Now, if we put it in the context of the days that was written, the psalms were sung with harps, and they were symbols of healing and love. So this psalm, I will praise God in song and glorify him with thanksgiving, to me means that's true of the person that each one of us looks in the mirror at in the morning or the evening or the afternoon, praising the God within. Yeah, in thanks with thanksgiving. So the first way we get to do it is praise and thanksgiving. Give it praise and give it thanks. Second way is accept and expect. And this, to me, equate it with the flotation device, because that flotation device, you accept that it's there and you expect it's going to work. When you pull that little red tab, you expect, okay, is the sound I'm going to hear, and it's going to keep me floating. It's going to keep me upright. It's going to keep me buoyant. And so for this, accept and expect. Ernest Holmes says, I am not only one with God, God is also one with me and one in me. I am not only one with God, but God is also one with me and one in me. And the reality of it is my being is not separated from the divine. That's not Ernie, that's me. The reality of it is my being is not separated from the divine. My being is the divine being. The only way that spirit can express here on the planet is through you and me, through each one of us. So that's the second way. And the third way is to believe and consent. Truly, truly believe and give your consent. And the believe and consent is what suits us. What choice do I make? The believe and consent. I believe whatever it is I would like in my life to happen. And then I give the universe the consent from me to make it happen. Bring it on. Yeah, so it's the believe and consent. And I have been recently reading a lot of Neville Goddard, who I love, and this showed up from Neville Goddard. Your mind is always arranged in the image of all you believe and consent to as true. The world manifests our concepts. Because you know what the world is? The world is not just the planet or the galaxies. The world is our consciousness made manifest. That's what the world is all of our consciousness made manifest. And I know we talk about this, and I know you know about this because you are all extremely enlightened metaphysicians here at Unity Inspired Living. And I'm not saying that tongue-in-cheek, Paris, at all. I'm just saying that I know that you probably know that the consciousness from within each one of us is what shows up on the planet. Okay? And it's a hard one to say, but it has been hypothesized that the reason we still have war is that we still believe in war. What if we didn't believe in war anymore? What if we, all of us, 9 billion, I think it is, of us on the planet? Yeah. What if we just said, no more war? It always throws me for a loop when they stop a war on a holiday. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they did. I know they did that in World War II, but they do it now too, like stop a war on a holiday. Well, what about if we make every day a holiday? What a concept. So I say that to say that this believe in consent is what we believe in. And then we give our consent to. It's what I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe in and give our consent to. And do I call upon the angels and the ancestors for assistance? Do I call upon them? Do I realize and know that I'm not doing this alone? No. I'm not doing this alone. So the way this is showing up in my life, probably you're thinking, oh, so how's this showing up for you, Rev Verona, or how's this showing up for you? The example I'd like to share with you is I allow myself to have, in all transparency, distractions. I allow distractions to take over my life. I allow myself to feel that it's important to watch my tape of 90 Day Fiancé. I allow that it's important. I have distractions where it's like, oh, I need to get my house very organized. The reason I get to my house organized, someplace in me, it's like my mother's going to show up and say, oh, your house is not organized. My mother's been in the next realm for 8 years. However, distractions of different things. When I open up my iPad, which is where I have my books. I have electronic books to read my spiritual books or to do a meditation. But instead, I get sucked in by the Google stuff. Oh, look at what so-and-so wore today. Oh, look at what so-and-so said today. So for me, distractions. I realize that some distractions, and I'm not beating myself up about it, it's just distractions are one of my wonderful lessons. It's that Spirit said to me, here you go, my beloved. You get to work on this for, 100 years or so. So when I thought about my distractions and thought about even the distractions of, I'm in the process of making a bunch of prayers, speaking a bunch of prayers to put on my website. People can go on the website and dial up a prayer. Okay, yeah, and it's because I love to pray, and so I've done some of them. So I get on my computer, I'm getting all ready, I have everything all set up, and there's a bamboo tree outside from my Zen office room, and so then I start looking at the bamboo tree instead of doing what I came in there to do, get in there and pray, even though it's something within me. So I realized that I can use these 3 tools to allow myself to not let the distractions take over, not have dominion over my life. First, praise and thanksgiving. I can do praise and thanksgiving for anything that I'm stepping into. Let's just use the example of the prayers. I want to have 100 prayers on there that people can dial into a prayer. dial into a Rev Verona prayer. Use praise and thanksgiving and use that as my magnetic compass, like bring me out of the distraction back into where it is I really, really am being present, being in the present. Second thing, accept and expect. Accept that this is happening and expect that it's unfolding in a magnificent, splendiferous, fabulous way that I don't know of, because Spirit is me, as me, is me. And the third way is to believe in consent. To believe that whatever it is I am embarking upon, believe whatever we are embarking upon when we're cruising into curiosity, believe it. Believe whatever it is, and then consent to it. Believe that. For me right now, I have about 20 prayers on audio. Believe that it can go to 100, just like that. Believe it, and then give my consent to the universe making it happen. And giving the consent is really just myself saying to me, I feel like, taking the hand of the universe and saying, okay, come on, let's go skip and jump and run together. Okay, come on, I'm ready for it to happen, which is who and what I am. So those three things, praise and thanksgiving, accept and expect, and believe and consent. So the challenge today, or the invitation, that's it. I don't like the word challenge, because sometimes a challenge means that there's, for me, some competition, and I don't want to be about competition, because we are all equal in the oneness of the divine. But the invitation, choose your voyage. Choose your own voyage. Claim your own dominion and power using those three things: accept and expect, praise and thanksgiving, believe and consent, and allow yourself to truly, truly know that as you're cruising into curiosity, whether you run into stupefying squalls or sacred sailing, that it is all good, it is all God, and it is all in divine right and perfect order, in, through, and as each one of us right here and right now. I am complete.